is the text of the hymn, All Things Bright and Beautiful. It's my belief not only is this the worst hymn in the English language, but it's also one of the shittest things ever written by anyone in any language ever. I'm going to explain why that is now, right? This is the chorus up here, which you sing once at the start of the hymn, and then a further 7 times during it. And it's my belief you don't need to do that. I think you can get the idea of what the hymn's about just from reading that through once, I think, right? So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to read it through once. I want you to see if you can understand what the hymn's saying. Look out for key words, all right? Here's how it goes. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. The key word is all there. All those things have been made by God. That's what it's saying. All, it's easy to understand. You'd have to be stupid not to read that through once and it is totally crystal clear. He made them all. So given how clear that is, why is it necessary for the hymn writer to go on and give a further 19 specific examples of some of the individual things God's made, in case when you read that through, he made them all, you didn't understand what it meant? You thought it meant he's made them all, but not these ones here. They're special, they have to be individually accounted for. First verse points out God made each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, their glowing colours and their tiny wings. So 4 more things there, including a bird. Which you don't need to be told he's made a bird, because you've just been told he made all things there. 2 lines, and that covers a bird, surely. The only situation you'd need to be told he'd made a bird, right, if you'd just been told he made all things, is if you'd read that first bit through, understood what it meant, had some kind of brain hemorrhage, forgotten everything you'd ever known, looked up in the sky, seen a bird and gone, blow me tight, a bird, who could have made that? Because that is covered there. In fact, I like to think of it in mathematical terms here, where set A is all things, set B is birds, set B is a very clear subset of set A. In fact, I would go so far as to say this needlessly overcomplicates a very simple idea. Because basically you're either a thing, in which case you're in set A, or you don't exist, right? There's no point trying to get round it, trying to trick God, trying to think of a thing you think he might not ever have thought of. I go, I just thought of a lamb with a wasp's feet. And it's Spanish. Does he go, is it a thing? You go, yeah. He goes, set A, I win. 2 lines later, he made their tiny wings. Which I think is doubly pointless under the circumstances, right? Because not only is wings covered by all things, it's covered by birds as well, isn't it? Set C. Set A, all things, set B, birds, set C, wings, set C being a subset of both set B and set A there. You don't need to be told he made wings. Unless maybe you'd seen some wings on their own somewhere, got a bit confused. Maybe in a Kentucky Fried Chicken shop late at night. The only way to make any sense of this, right, is to assume the whole thing is an elaborate parody of the stupidity of a literal biblical creation idea, right? And the argument for that is the last verse, which goes, he gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell. How great is God Almighty, who has made all things well. Well being a bit of an understatement, I think, given the enormity of this task. So next time you're asked to sing this, just take along one of these and go, it's this. Can we go home now?
That's my real name, Adam Bloom. But if I was famous, I'd have to have one of those clever names, like Edward Woodward. Isn't that a good name? Edward Woodward. Edward Woodward. I'm thinking of changing my name to Adam Dum Dum. And before I start, I hope I don't come across as arrogant, because I get accused of being arrogant, but I think people just confuse that with confidence. But whatever, I'll tell you more about that in the encore. What? I want to talk about the summer. I went swimming in the summertime. Now, generally speaking, what colour do they tile swimming pools? And that's to make it look like fresh seawater. And why is seawater blue? Because it's reflected from the sky. And why is the sky blue? Well, apparently it's the angle the light hits the spectrum, which happens to be on blue. Now, if the world got hit hard enough by a meteorite, it would knock it off its axis, changing the colour of the sky. And I was thinking, apart from the initial shock, wouldn't that be a great day for tilers? What do you reckon? Did you know about that? If or nuclear war, boom, red sky. Or everyone in China jumped up at the same time, boom, yellow. Ironically. But, what do you prefer, red or yellow? Red. I prefer yellow. Easy to piss in the pool. Don't say you don't. Also, in the summer, I had all the birds singing outside my bedroom window, all the birds singing. And I thought, this is beautiful, but these birds are all different ages. Do you think the older birds have a problem appreciating the younger birds' music? What do you reckon? I just imagine some really horrible old bird getting them bloody sparrows and them foreign birds, them cockerels. It's just cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. There's no lyrics, there's no melody. You can't hear what they're saying half the time. And I saw a little bird asleep. Have you ever seen it before? Fast asleep. And I thought, when they wake up, do you reckon they have a lion? just imagine a bird asleep, dreaming. I don't know what birds dream. Probably dream they can't fly. And just wake up and go, I'll sod it 2 more minutes. Which is probably why the cockerel goes off again, because he's on snooze. But nature always cheers me up. I was on a park bench in the summertime. I was really depressed. Nothing was going well for me. I just had a massive row with my girlfriend, so that cheered me up a bit, right? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this tiny little ladybird just flew down and landed on my arm. So I flicked it. No, I didn't. I said, ah. I thought, ah. I thought, wait a second. Underneath that beautiful shell is a creepy, crawly, ugly, buggy thing. And I don't know about you personally out there, but when one of those lands on my arm, I don't go, ah. I go, ah, get off! But because of that beautiful shell, I completely forgot what was underneath. Doesn't it show how shallow we can all be? And I was discussing this with my girlfriend earlier. She's the one at the bar with a red face with loads of black spots. But I remember seeing a nature documentary that said there are creatures on our planet whose brains are so small they don't even know they exist. And I thought that might explain why when you catch a yob's eye, he says, what are you looking at?
Hello, good evening. Yes, Will Smith here. Obviously not Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. No, Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Belgravia. Excellent, delightful to be here. Obviously, I'm not particularly street, as I think the kids call it. No, I was the only person in Britain who didn't like the film Trainspotting. I just kind of sat there and thought, why take heroin? Why not go to the ballet? See, I don't take drugs, you can tell that. You can also probably tell that I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I haven't had sex now in a woman, actually. You've no idea the number of people I've had to turn down to keep that joke seeming real to me. Yeah. None. But although I look like a young Tory, please relax, I'm not. I'm a Nazi. And I'm not middle class either. That's the other mistake people often make about me. For the record, I am actually gentry. I'm the real thing. Hello, peasants. Look at that. That is waiting for a leather elbow patch, yes. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a mixed blessing, actually, being slightly posh, especially with this voice. I mean, it's great having a posh voice in some situations. It's great if you're talking to a policeman or a judge. It's just fantastic. You just go, and what seems to be the problem, officer? Funny handshake, dad'll sort it out, never mind about that. It's not such a good voice to have if you're trying to get a car repaired really cheaply. No matter how I dress, I open my mouth and they just see silk stockings and a big hat with a feather in it, you know. I may as well just go in and go, fix my car for the shiny sixpence, you rough-hewn man of granite. Also, I don't know whether I'm alone in this, but I have a terrible fear. Whenever I'm walking through a park and there's a bunch of lads playing football, and the ball is kicked over to me, and they're like, over here, mate, over here. And I'm like, oh, God. May as well put on the ballet shoes right now. You know, kind of take a run up, kick it, miss, kick it again, it goes over there, run after it, pick it up, try and throw it, but throw it behind me. Have to walk up to them, and by which time the whole park is standing like this. There's grannies going, oh, just kick it! But I'm not, you know, ashamed of who I am. You know, I like to make an effort. I like to look smart, and it does annoy me when that counts against me. You know, I mean, like, you know, when you're invited to a party and you want to impress all the young ladies. So what do? You put on your best tweed jacket, you iron your cords, you get your hair cut like Hugh Grant, and you walk into that party with the full confidence and dignity of a man who got bloody good O-level results, including an A at religious knowledge. But oh no, the kind of man that women go for is always some greasy guy in dungarees with no shirt, just sitting in the corner, smoking roll-ups and whining on about his overdraft. I mean, why do they go for him? He's clearly financially irresponsible. Not like me, I just asked Dad. But that is not the point. And he'll start going on about trendy music like drum and brass and, you know, hip-hop and roll, you know, and jumble music, whatever that is, you know. Exactly. And I just think, well, what was wrong with Vivaldi? He was just as good as Johnny Hendrix.